Breaking news, breaking news. I told you guys I was going to follow up on this story that had me so heated with these people taking all this money in this coffee city, $250,000 in fines, with a town that has less than 500 people. 5 police officers, like literally, one person for every 5 people as a police officer. Check this out. Let me show y'all what happened.
This investigation started with a tip from a KHE11 viewer just like you. The tipster said, hey, you have to check out this small town called Coffee City, Texas. It's hiring a ton of cops, and word has it, a lot of them have troubled pasts. So we pulled on that thread, requested a lot of records, and dug in deep. That took a while, and that journalistic journey led us to discover even more problems at this department. And in the end, our investigation got results. Just 2 weeks after our first story aired, the city council took swift and serious action. It fired the police chief and shut down the entire police force.
Got their ass out of here. Thought they was slick.
New tonight, a tiny Texas town of about 250 people has 50 sworn police officers on the force.
We're talking about Coffee City. That's up in Henderson County, some 3 hours north of Houston. They have 1 cop for every 5 residents. And what's more, Jeremy Rogowski discovered many of those officers have a history of problems wearing the badge.
On the banks of Lake Palestine, some 3 hours north of Houston, this dot on the map has quite a reputation among those who drive through.
They're everywhere, literally everywhere.
They run back and forth, back and forth.
A lot of officers policing a very small number of people.
Only 249 people, says the sign on the edge of town. And when you add up all the full-time cops and reserves,
50 officers.
Good Lord, that's crazy.
It's such a small town. Why do we need so many? It makes no sense. Why do you need that many officers?
Coffee City hauled in $1 million in court fines last year for more than 5,000 violations, officers wrote. The most in the state for a town its size.
But this isn't a story about a small town writing a bunch of tickets. You see, Coffee City is a magnet for troubled cops.
How do we know? KHEU11 investigates obtained personnel records from other police agencies and found more than half of Coffee City officers had been suspended, demoted, terminated, or dishonorably discharged from their previous jobs. A dozen were even criminally charged.
I was astounded to think that they've been hired by another agency.
Greg Freeman is a Sam Houston State criminal justice professor and retired Houston police captain.
I've never seen anything like that in my professional career, and I've seen a lot.
Their prior discipline ranges from excessive force to public drunkenness, untruthfulness, and association with known criminals. Criminal charges include DWI, theft, aggravated assault, family violence, and endangering a child.
If you knowingly are hiring an officer that has a very troubled past and history and has no business to be wearing a uniform, and it's a very, very precarious slope that city is engaging in by hiring.
This is the man who hired them. Chief John J. Portillo quadrupled the department's size since he took the job 2 years ago. He says to provide 24/7 coverage for the town.
Why would you hire so many people with all these red flags?
There's more to just what's on paper. And that's where I rely on my captain and my background investigators to go in and dig and say, hey, what's the truth behind this?
The chief says criminal charges were often dismissed, dishonorable discharges overturned. He claims most applicants hired got on the wrong side of agency politics.
If you go back to the totality of a lot of these officer stuff, I would say 75%, or not more, they're being retaliated against from their agency.
Retaliate? Why would you take a chance, Chief?
I try to look at the good in everybody, and I believe everybody deserves an opportunity.
You give a lot of opportunities.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
The opportunity to wear a badge allows his officers to work extra jobs, which can mean real money, $50 an hour or more.
I mean, let's not hide it from anybody. They're making probably about $80,000 to $100,000 a year.
Damn, listen to this.
And I asked Portillo directly, does he get a cut of his officers' extra job wages? Twice during our interview, the chief said no. The only money he makes from extra jobs is from the ones he works himself. And that takes us from Coffee City to Houston and what's coming up tomorrow night at 10.
We'll talk Garcia right now.
That's Chief Portillo caught on camera cussing out an elected Harris County constable. Portillo was working security for a Southeast Houston apartment complex nearly 200 miles away from Coffee City. More on that video and what else we learned about Chief Portillo's past as our investigation continues tomorrow at 10. Len and me.
Jeremy Rogowski, fascinating report there.
We'll see you tomorrow for more. Thank you.
Coffee City, Texas, a small town of about 250 people
Crazy.
and 50 police officers on the force.
Our investigative team dug through records and found half of those officers had been suspended, demoted, or fired from previous jobs, some even criminally charged.
And Jeremy Rogowski discovered the man who hired them can have a short fuse when dealing with others who wear the badge here in Harris County.
Coffee City Police Chief routinely works an extra job 200 miles away at this Houston apartment complex. And on this day, watch how John J. Portillo behaves.
I'm about to call Garcia and tell him he's going to be this next election.
It's an expletive-filled rant launched at the elected constable of Harris County Precinct 2, Jerry Garcia.
I'll call Garcia right now.
Portillo wanted Precinct 2 to file charges on a man he says assaulted him at the complex. It was just one of many requests the constable says kept coming in from off-duty Coffee City cops.
Which at first was, no big deal. We help anybody and everybody. But then we noticed that it was becoming a pattern.
That pattern, the constable says, was draining resources. So Garcia reached out to the Harris County District Attorney's Office.
And we were advised to tell Chief Portillo that he had to file the charges.
But when deputies did just that, Portillo left a nasty voicemail.
And your captains, lieutenants, or whoever those numbnuts are that you have working for you, tell them your guy's not to help us out.
It saddened me. It upset me to hear that. This isn't something small. This is pretty upsetting.
What upset the constable even more, the response his agency got back after alerting Coffee City's mayor. I don't see very much there that warrants any disciplinary action from the city, the mayor wrote. The officers are contracted by the property for off-duty police protection. You may want to reach out to them with any complaints.
Didn't think that it merited any disciplinary action against him. It's crazy.
Greg Freeman is a Sam Houston State criminal justice professor and retired Houston police captain.
Basically, you're enabling bad behavior now. And that's exactly what the mayor has done.
So what does Chief Portillo have to say for himself?
I was amped up. And I apologize to my city council, at city council.
Did you apologize to Constable Garcia?
No, I haven't had a chance. I haven't talked to him.
The cussing incident happened 6 months ago.
Is that the real John J. Portillo that people are seeing in this video?
No, I don't just go off the handle.
Well, you did here.
Yeah, because I got socked in the face. I was mad. I was red, and I was upset because they wouldn't, help me file the charges.
It's not the only example we found.
Because he got socked in the face, because he got pissed off. Somebody knocked his ass out because he being a rude A. He decides to take it out on the police department, that he decides needs to help him when he wanted them to help him stop what they doing, come help them, and they off duty. Is he serious? Do y'all hear this idiot? And he's saying it like, don't y'all get it?
That calls into question Portillo's character and integrity. In his application to become Coffee City's chief, he never listed this, a DWI charge out of Florida in which he failed to appear in court.
Why wouldn't you disclose that, Chief?
Didn't disclose. It was over 10 years ago.
You had an active warrant.
Huh? That was disposed of.
No, it wasn't. Court records show the day after our interview, Portillo hired a Florida defense attorney who filed a not guilty plea in the case.
A day later,
from the looks of it, you weren't being truthful on the application to which you hold the job this day.
Yes, it's so funny.
Yeah, I understand. But that's not what it is. I'm not being truthful.
You forgot?
I put down everything that was in my mind when I filled out my application.
My mind was half blank.
Well, that same job application states there are criminal consequences for lying on a government document.
Okay, so there's more to this investigation tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow we reveal how some Coffee City officers were working full-time right here in Harris County and how the chief suspended that division after we started asking questions.
We'll see that tomorrow night. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, what happened? Here we go, y'all. This is where we left off.
A KHOU11 investigation leads to changes at a Texas police department.
This week, we've showed you how the town of Coffee City, 3 hours north of Houston, is a magnet for cops with troubling backgrounds.
Now the chief is temporarily shutting down a division that works here in Harris County after Jeremy Rogowski questioned whether it's legal.
Coffee City, Texas, a dot on the map with barely 250 residents, has a police force of 50 officers, 5 times the number of cops than any other Texas town its size. And that's not the only thing unusual or odd. Turns out there are a half dozen full-time Coffee City police officers who don't even work in Coffee City, Texas. Instead, they work from home more than 3 hours and nearly 200 miles away in Houston.
It's hard to believe that that's...
Mind you, I hope y'all heard them say, than any, 5 times as many police officers than any other town its size. They said than any other town its size, which means exactly what they said. There is not one other city that is practicing this. There's not one city the same size as this city. And man, Texas humongous, y'all. It's a lot of little towns. But there's not one town anywhere else in a huge ass state of Texas that got 5 police officers to 1 person. I mean, they got a police officer to 5 people. Do y'all hear this? They said that themselves.
Happening.
Greg Freeman is a Sam Houston State criminal justice professor.
I've never seen anything like that. There are 100 questions that come to my mind.
Who are these officers? This internal email shows they're part of a warrant division. It reads, there is no need to go to Coffee City because you will be spending 95% of your time on the phone, calling people who have outstanding warrants and collecting.
So instead of me having a job that I'll work at, I'll actually go to work every day. I'll just stay home and handle my job, which is only taking care of fines. You know, it's all paperwork and, you know, jipping people, stealing the money from the people of the city. And, you know, the cops who make these fake ass tickets, they're giving out tickets of $250,000 a year in this little ass town. So they're giving out all these false tickets. And so the people that have to, you know, address these tickets, that's all they're doing, calling, hey, pay this ticket, pay this ticket, pay this ticket, debt collectors, debt collectors, debt collectors. But they got them working for the police department. But they don't even live or stay or come to the damn city, but they getting paid for a paycheck from Coffee City. Do y'all hear this? Listen to this shit.
Failure to appear fines. And because it's a full-time position, there's an added perk.
It gives them the ability to go work an extra job.
Coffee City Chief John J. Portillo concedes they're on the books as full-time because state law only allows full-time cops to work extra security jobs. At this Houston apartment complex, some Coffee City warrant officers do just that and make more than $50 an hour.
They work 2-3 days a week, 4 days a week.
But is it all above board?
Making
The warrant
$80,000
division is a performance-based division, and officers' pay is based on the failure to appears they collect.
They're basically bounty hunters in a way.
Freeman says that amounts to a commission for collecting
Monster.
fines.
It doesn't make any sense. From an ethical perspective, it just screams questions about the legitimacy of what they're doing.
That's because state law requires full-time peace officers to get paid at least at the federal minimum wage. But again, at the Coffee City Warrant Division,
The court gives them $150 for each warrant that they clear.
So they don't earn a salary apart from that $150.
No, sir. No, sir.
$150.
Correct.
Ticket.
Correct.
Okay. Is that legal?
Oh, I believe so.
Oh, you believe? You should know.
2 days after our interview,
you
Coffee
believe?
City PD changed course, sending out this email to warrant detectives that said, due to unforeseen difficulties, the program has been suspended until such time as I can make sure that we are in compliance with labor laws.
Oh, you think you do that?
So whose job is it to police the police? The Department of Public Safety enforces any extra job violations. The Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, or TCOL, has the power to suspend or revoke a peace officer's license. That agency confirms to us it does have an open investigation into the Coffee City Police Department.
Do they now?
You're raising a lot of eyebrows, Jeremy. Thank
Lots
you.
of eyebrow. Check this out.
New developments tonight in the KHOU 11 investigation of the Coffee
It ain't
City
over.
Police Department.
Last week, we uncovered the town of 250 people has 50 officers on the force, and more than half of those officers have tainted past. Now, Jeremy Rogowski reports the Coffee City
Everybody should sue and get
Council
their damn
has
money. They gotta
suspended
keep it
the
from
chief
that
of
shit.
police.
You hear me?
Chief
Everybody.
John J. Portillo is off the job for 30 days. The Coffee City Council voted to suspend him pending an independent investigation into what we
You
found.
don't say.
KHEO 11 Investigates revealed how Portillo routinely hired officers who had been suspended, demoted, terminated, or dishonorably discharged from their previous law enforcement jobs for a wide range of misconduct or even criminal charges.
Call Garcia right now. Tell us or his trainer commander.
We also reported on a profanity-filled rant the chief launched at a Harris County constable while he was working an extra security job in Houston. And we uncovered how Portillo failed to list on his job application this active DWI case out of Florida, in which he failed to appear in court.
With a
From the
warrant.
looks of it, you weren't being
The
truthful
police chief with a warrant
on the
on his
application
ass.
to which you
Can you
hold the
believe this
job
shit?
this day. Chief,
Yeah, I understand. I mean, but that's not what it is. I'm not being truthful.
you forgot?
I put down everything that was in my mind when I filled out my application to the best of my knowledge.
Our investigation also revealed how
never
Coffee
mind.
City warrant officers didn't even work in Coffee City. They stayed home in Houston, spending their time on the phone, calling people with outstanding traffic warrants and
Drinking,
collecting failure to
weed,
appear fines.
cigarettes,
After we
beers,
questioned
wine, and shit
Portillo
all
about
day.
the program,
Is that legal?
Ain't that something?
Oh, I believe so.
He believes.
the chief suspended the
Believe it.
warrant division.
We got hold of Portillo on the phone. The chief declined to comment about the suspension. And that's not the only shakeup in the Coffee City ranks. Sergeant Cody Welch resigned from the department. We don't know why. Welch also declined to comment. Jeremy Rogowski,
You don't?
KHOU 11 Investigates.
KHOU 11 Investigates uncovered questionable hiring practices in a small town police department with 50 officers for 250 people. Last night, we told you how the police chief was suspended for 30 days.
Tonight, there is new reaction from the mayor of Coffee City, who is talking for the very first time. Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski tells us what he had to say and the changes the mayor says are on the way.
Mayor Jeff Blackstone declined our repeated requests for an on-camera interview, but he did sit down with our sister station in Tyler. The mayor concedes he was unaware of many of the issues we uncovered.
My first reaction was just kind of shocked.
Mayor Blackstone says he had no idea more than half of the 50 officers on the Coffee City Police Department had been suspended, demoted, terminated, or dishonorably discharged from previous law enforcement jobs, some even criminally charged. The mayor and all the current city council members took office after John J. Portillo was hired as police chief. So the mayor says they were unaware of what we uncovered on Portillo's job application, that he failed to list an active DWI charge out of Florida.
I was not pleased whenever I heard the allegations, because if they are true, then that looks really bad. So
Did you do a search
we just
on
have to
the
make sure
before
that
hiring him?
we get to the bottom of all of this.
The mayor says while Chief Portillo is on a 30-day paid suspension, Coffee City will investigate the issues internally, as well as hiring an independent investigation firm.
Damn, this
The
nigga
scope
get a
of that
police
probe will
suspension?
include the department's
He already
warrant
been paid for
officers,
not doing
who we
shit.
found didn't
Wow.
even work in Coffee City,
Wow.
but rather stayed home in Houston
So
on the
dumb.
phone trying to collect outstanding traffic fines.
We weren't really fully aware of how it was operating, and that was all kind of brought to light as well through this story.
Going forward, the mayor says all police applications will be reviewed by the entire city council before any officer is hired. His goal, rebuilding the reputation of his town's police force and public trust.
These are allegations that we can't just turn a blind eye to.
The mayor also says
No.
Coffee City is
But you
asking
may
the
give me
Texas
notification
Commission on
from
Law
Houston.
Enforcement, or
You
TCO,
ignored
for
them.
assistance with information.
Big
That
deal.
agency already has an open investigation into the department. Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 Investigates.
Up first tonight, breaking news from the KHOU 11 Investigates team.
Just a few hours ago, the city council in tiny Coffee City, Texas,
Not yet.
voted unanimously to fire its police chief and deactivate the entire police department until a new chief can be hired. This comes after KHU 11 investigates
and deactivate. Let me rewind it. And deactivate the entire police department. Oh, ain't that nice? Check them out.
Up first tonight, breaking news from the KHU 11 investigates team.
Just a few hours ago, the city council in tiny Coffee City, Texas, voted unanimously to fire its police chief and deactivate the entire police department until a new chief can be hired. This comes after KHU 11 investigates uncovered questionable practices in the department in a series of reports.
Jeremy Rogowski is in Coffee City tonight with the exclusive update. Jeremy.
The Coffee City Council took less than 15 minutes to reach its decision. It means this tiny town of 250 people that once had 50 officers on the force now has none. Coffee City Council members took swift and serious action after what KHU 11 investigates uncovered. A police department that routinely hired cops with troubling work histories, hired by a chief, John J. Portillo, who had an unresolved criminal charge, and who launched a questionable warrant division with officers who didn't even work in Coffee City.
There was things that we weren't aware of, and that just like really opened our eyes that, you know, there's major changes that have got to be made and made quickly.
Portillo had tried to email his resignation before the meeting, but council members refused to accept it and instead outright fired the chief. And in a bombshell move, it also voted to deactivate the department as a whole.
We just felt it was best to basically terminate the program. That way we were able to go out, find a new chief, let him do all the proper evaluations and determine if he wants to rehire anybody or just start from scratch.
The action was welcome news for many residents who say they've lived with over-aggressive policing for too long.
Ever since we moved here, it was every day cop pulling in for one reason or another.
Something needed to happen. That's for sure.
The Henderson County Sheriff's Office will respond to calls for the time being. As for the 50 full-time and reserve officers, we're told they will not be allowed to perform police officer activities unless or until they're picked up by another department. Finally, we reached out to John J. Portillo for comment. We have not heard back.
I'm sure.
It has been quite the investigation and quite
the investigation. Now check this out. Isn't it something how they can jump into action where all these pure white citizens are, you know, getting abused with $250,000 a year in fines and hiring all these people in such a small city, paying so much in taxes so that they can be able to pay the police department, even though they're getting all this extra money on the side, so on and so forth. It's amazing how they so fluently were able to just go through the whole process and, you know, get them fired in the end and just do a great job. Now there's no one there to take advantage of the people. Why they don't do that shit everywhere else where we at, where, you know, people shooting down our people for nothing and, you know, all this nonsense. It's just crazy. But, you know, I'm satisfied. I'm glad they at least, you know, closed it down, you know, even though it ain't benefit none of us. You know, they did a whole, y'all seen the stories going back to back to back. It was like 10 damn stories back to back on that shit. They covered all of that, taking care of them poor citizens. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. That amazed me too in itself, but you know, glad that they shut it down. Glad that they got everything, you know. So yeah. That part, LT, right? That part. So, peace, love, and bliss, guys. I wasn't going to be long. Y'all know I did 2 lives earlier. I don't want to, you know, be on here all day. Gonna relax, and I'll try and get to you guys tomorrow. If I get some good rest, I might try and do another early one before everybody gets started with their lives tomorrow. Exactly, Melissa. Before everybody get started with their lives tomorrow and stuff like that. If not, I'll try you guys tomorrow evening. Oh, actually, what I got to do is something. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Something I'm supposed to do Friday. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me a quick minute. I'll be right back. Okay. So, yeah. So what we're going to do is we'll be with okay. Oh, tune in to my people, please, y'all. They listen, all the stuff that we be on when it comes to this court stuff and the law. Lord, the law is so much to the law. I keep telling y'all, you can never get enough studies, man. I'm a little tired, but I'm definitely gonna be in the chat, seeing what Dave's talking about. I definitely want to link with him for sure. To get some more stuff with the court. I got some understanding stuff, but I've been going through other types of legal things. So you guys know, dealing with the trust, the estate, the debt stuff, and all of that. But Dave has some good stuff when it comes to like the protection of the kids, so on and so forth. So I want to get with him as far as seeing how to tie that into the information with the trust, so on and so forth. So notices. Oh, y'all gonna be writing notices for CPS? Okay. Sounds good. Says, yeah, I definitely want to get in on that. I'll be in there for sure. Yes. Be on it. I do. They do too. But all right, guys, peace, love, and bliss. Go ahead over to Today Can You Dig It? See when they're live. They probably had to have it posted so you can get a notification. So when they get up with Dave, who's going to be going over so much of the great information, guys, make sure you guys are checking that out. All right, guys, peace, love, and bliss. Your girl is out. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you guys later, family. Peace.